Live right here on the early line on this Thursday morning. A short slate on this Thursday around Major League Baseball because we had a jam-packed Wednesday with all 30 MLB clubs in action. The Cleveland Guardians, DRS, to start off this midweek series in Arlington against the reigning World Series champs, really got the better of Texas. The Rangers, though, avoid the sweep yesterday with a 4-0 victory at home over Cleveland. As the odds expected, minus 184 on that moneyline favored number. A total of 8.5 does stay under. So Cleveland won the first two. The Rangers edged them out in game number 3 to avoid that sweep.
Yeah, and by the way, good pitching performance yesterday by Carlos Carrasco in that loss. He said, well, he took the loss. He's been really bad this year. 5 innings pitched, 2 earned runs. That keeps you in ball games, particularly on the road. And if I asked you to say, what are 2 players in that Texas lineup that probably hit the 2 home runs that they got, it would be Marcus Semien and Adolis Garcia. Each one of those guys with 2 RBIs and a home run yesterday. But really was the Guardians hitting, which has been so good as of late, getting shut out on the road. Gray, 6 1/3 innings pitched, only 4 hits, no earned runs giving up. Bullpen closes it down here on the way out. So as we said, you got to start somewhere for the Rangers. Now a game above 500 to see where they go. No shame in the Guardians game, 27-17 still. Our guy Josh Naylor is going to be doing damage the rest of the season. Can't win every game, but even though you could take that, we lost 4-0. At least you got a solid start out of Carrasco, and you'll see where that goes moving forward.
And listen, they are not out of it by any means, nor should they be. 45 games into a season here in the middle of May of 162. But I say that because nobody in the American League West has been particularly good this year. The Mariners in front, the best record, but only 4 games above 500. Texas, the only other team with a winning record. The A's still in front of the Astros, but Houston has won 4 straight, including over Oakland yesterday in 5 of their last 6. Houston trying to rally, but nobody in the American League West at this moment is all that great. Cleveland, meanwhile, still sits in front in the American League Central by a 1.5 over the Royals. 2 games in front of the Twins. Both the Royals and Twins defeated yesterday. That included Minnesota at home against the New York Yankees, who for a second consecutive day go into Minneapolis and get a victory. 5-0 for New York yesterday over the Twins on a huge day for Aaron Judge. A slow start to this year, but over the last week, number 99 in pinstripes has been picking it up. 4 for 4 at the dish yesterday, including nearly a 470-foot home run at Target Field. 3 doubles as well, and drew in a walk in his 5 plate appearances. Aaron Judge is getting hot, and the Yankees are taking advantage.
They got 10 hits off of Pablo Lopez, one of the better pitchers in Major League Baseball, in 6 1/3 innings, gave up 3 earned runs, which against the Yankees, that should be able to keep you in it, and technically it did, but Minnesota just didn't show up at the plate. I thought we had a pretty good chance for the left-handed bats of the Minnesota Twins to come up against Stroman, who's been a good pitcher, but struggled a little bit with left-handed batters, and there's a plethora of those in the lineup for the Twins. Just didn't work out. But to your point here, Judge now hitting 255. Doesn't sound great, but just a few weeks ago, he was around like that 210 mark. You take a look at Giancarlo Stanton, same thing. He's now up to 243. Both of those guys getting RBI yesterday. You got to get those big guys cranking here in that lineup. And the one thing we do know is even though Soto only went 1 of 5 yesterday, hitting 310 in that lineup, he is going to be a table setter all season long for those big guns behind him here. Nice win for the Yankees on the road. Competitive team with the Minnesota Twins, but I like where the Yankees are going. 29 wins now on the season. They look really good.
And the Yanks were the underdog. Minnesota a minus 136 money line favorite with Pablo Lopez. The Yanks plus 116 on that closing money line. Total stays under 8, of course, as the Twins have only scored 1 run in these 2 games so far against New York. The Yanks as an underdog only 10 times this year. That shouldn't be the surprising part, but they are 6-4 straight up. Philadelphia DRS continues to play really good baseball. An interesting 4-game series, if you want to call it that, or 2 back-to-back 2-game sets. We started off this week in Queens between the New York Mets and the Philadelphia Phillies. Yesterday, we flipped to the bank in Philly. Either way, the Phils have won all 3 games this week against the New York Mets. 10-5, the victory yesterday. Huge 4-run 5th inning for the Phils. And, Donnie, the story has been not Aaron Nola, not Zach Wheeler, but maybe both of those, but mainly Ranger Suarez. 8-0, an MLB best. 8 wins so far for Suarez as they win 10-5 over New York.
And quite frankly, 5 innings pitched here at 0 earned runs. He actually scored. There was 2 runs scored while he was on the mound, but that's because the center field was just dropping pop flies and allowing unearned runs left and right. So it was a sloppy performance in the field for the Philadelphia Phillies, but still 10 runs at the plate. Bryce Harper continues to be a monster. 3 more RBI, putting his name back into that MVP race. Yes, the Philadelphia Phillies aren't playing great baseball teams on a night-to-night basis, but they're pounding those bad baseball teams and getting great pitching as they go. 31-13. We're approaching the best start in the history of the Philadelphia Phillies franchise, which is incredible. But as we know, they typically play their best when we take a look at maybe August and or September.
Nobody else in MLB as of this moment has hit 30 wins, and the Titans have 31-13. The only team in Major League Baseball with a winning percentage greater than .700. That's 70%. The Dodgers have 29. They lost yesterday in San Francisco. The Yankees, with the victory yesterday over Minnesota, have 29 as well. The Atlanta Braves were off to a great start this week, shutting out the Cubbies. Chicago in 2 games in the ATL did not register a single run. They get their revenge yesterday over Charlie Morton, who allowed 3 earned in only 3 innings. Javier Assad on the other side, 4-0, a scoreless performance out of 6 innings yesterday, and the Cubs finally score 7-1, the victory in Atlanta.
About time, 25-19 on the season. Also, the Braves just been getting by here with good pitching performances against guys that we didn't think maybe would have great pitching performances this year. Morton, as you said, you only go 3 innings. That's going to be troublesome because that's going to wear down your bullpen. But how about Pete Crow Armstrong, the young rookie, 2 for 4 at the plate, 2 RBI here in that lift. That's a nice win. And also, you take a look at the total in this game, Ben. Sits at 7 plus 1 equals 8. That total, 8.5. You continue to get teams scoring 7 runs, and you can't get an over down in Atlanta. That's pretty crazy.
3 unders in a row in this series. Atlanta under in 20 of its last 22 games. Javier Assad, we've highlighted Shota Imanaga for the Cubs. Assad, he is 4-0 this year with a 1.49 ERA. That starting staff for Chicago, very good. More around MLB up next. Live right here on this Thursday morning on the early line on SportsGrid, we continue to go around Major League Baseball from a full slate on a Wednesday. Now, the Colorado Rockies might end the year as the worst team in the National League, but at the moment, the Rocks are having some fun. Colorado has won 7 straight games. Their 7th consecutive victory, an 8-0 shutout in San Diego against the Padres to sweep the Fathers in the midweek series. They swept the Rangers over the weekend, and with a victory in their finale against the Giants in the set before that, make it 7 wins in a row, Donnie, for a team in Colorado that has just 15 throughout the entirety of this Major League Baseball season.
That's baseball, and that's all you can say. Teams are going to win, teams are going to lose. It looked for a while that the Chicago White Sox were only going to win like 5 games for the entire season, yet they're playing much, much better baseball at this point, too. The Rockies now 15-28, and also, what are the Padres doing? You're at home? Nice little day game. You get shut out, which is one thing, but you get beat 8-0 by the Rockies on the opposite side. And it wasn't as if it's like, hey, we made a trade for a great pitcher or brought up a guy like a Paul Skeens for our team. It was Austin Gomber on the mound yesterday. 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, 5 Ks. You got to be kidding me, Padres. That's not good enough. That lineup is way too talented to get shut out by the Colorado Rockies and get pounded by them. But then again, good on the Colorado Rockies. We left them dead and buried and now showing some signs of life.
Listen, the Dodgers don't need any help winning the National League West. They have won the division 10 of the previous 11 Major League Baseball seasons. But when they're the only team above 500, when they're the only team that is not 2 games below 500 or worse, and have a 7.5 game lead here before Memorial Day, the rest of you guys, that includes the Padres, the reigning NL pennant winners, the Diamondbacks, the Giants, and these Rocks, you guys are making it too easy for LA, who actually lost yesterday against a divisional foe and their California rival in San Francisco. So, as we continue to spin it around Major League Baseball, our guy Vinny P did not step up yesterday. The Royals scored 2 runs all off the bat of Bobby Witt Jr., neither a base hit, a sac fly, and a fielder's choice, as the Mariners win the series finale and this midweek set against the Royals. Seattle victorious 4-2 yesterday, nearly $1.50 favorite on that money line. A total of 7.5 stays under.
Yeah. Ric Flair's nephew out there on the mound doing some damage at 5 1/3 innings pitched, only 3 hits and 1 earned run given up from Mr. Wu out there. Marsh wasn't bad either. 5 innings pitched, 1 earned run. This is what you typically get in the Pacific Northwest at T-Mobile. You are going to get a lot of unders, and you saw that yesterday. RBI shots for me. I took a little bit of a chance with Moore in the 8-hole yesterday, went 0 for 2 yesterday. Not a great day, even though he showed up multiple times with runners in scoring position, so that didn't work. But also, Kansas City 26-19, 11-11 on the road. It's what happens here. You can't win every baseball game that you play. We understand that. But also, the Mariners, and I asked this question again, Ben, who is going to step up to the plate in that AL West division to sort of take control? Maybe it's the Mariners. Who knows?
Maybe. Right now, when you look at the odds in the American League West, the Mariners are the favorites at plus 150. Yeah. The Rangers backed by 30 cents at plus 180. The Astros, again, have won 4 straight in 5 of their previous 6, but still 7 games below 500 in a 2-to-1 price. Only a $0.50 behind Seattle at this moment. You know who's stepping up in the National League Central? Our guy, the big gas bomb, Robert Gasser, a part of the TEL crew. Vinny Pasquantino, not his day yesterday, but for Robert Gasser, it certainly was. The Brew Crew wins 10-2 yesterday at home in Milwaukee over the Pirates. Booked as a minus 156 money line favorite. Total goes over 8.5. Milwaukee got the offensive output. Great. But Gasser yesterday, 5 innings of work on the bump, only a single earned run allowed. He gave up just 6 hits in his debut in Major League Baseball last week against the Cardinals. 6 innings of shutout baseball. That means the gas bomb is 2-0 with a .84 ERA in his MLB career. One of the favorites here on the early line.
Ain't no stopping him now. And you know what I like about it, too? Because typically you take a look at pitchers. You got to be power pitchers, Ben. You got to strike everybody out. 5 innings pitched, only 2 Ks, which means he was crafty. Only 1 walkout here, sprayed around 6 hits. That's the way to get the job done. And also, it's always nice when you get on the mound, and by the end of the 3rd inning, you have a 5-1 lead in your favor. A little bit easier to pitch after that happens. Some good offense there turning out for the Brewers, who are now 26-17. No surprise here. Year to year, that's a real competitive ball club, and here they are again.
A game and a half up over the Chicago Cubs for that number 1 spot in the National League Central. Those are the only 2 teams above 500 or not 6 games below 500 or worse in the NL Central at this current juncture.